This is a review of the Nerf Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem Blaster. Included is the blaster itself, 2 purple tipped, 2 orange tipped, 2 red tipped, 2 blue tipped, and 2 yellow tipped green Elite 2.0 darts in order to resemble the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Apart from that, they are standard Elite 2.0 darts. Chillin' didn't read, this is just a reskin of the Nerf Rebel Sweet Revenge gun from the kit back 9 years ago. However, I don't have a review of that gun, and most of the reviews of that gun is quite outdated. However, the gun should be functionally the same as it was 9 years ago. Starting at the front, there is no end-strike barrel attachment, so you can now attach your end-strike compatible attachment. This is a 5-shot cylinder-fed blaster. To load, simply front load like this. You can freely rotate the barrel to access the remaining barrels. However, at any one rotation, there are 4 available barrels to be loaded. Moving down, we have this orange piece of plastic here, and up top we have an end-strike tactical rail. This is compatible with all your end-strike compatible attachments. It does have the old style of end-strike tooth. To attach attachments, go from front to back, not back to front. This is the old convention rather than the new one. Moving down below the rail, we have the cosmetic design of this gun. Painted on both sides is a unique paint job of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle themed graffiti. It looks quite nice. It's been etched on really well. The design is different on both sides, and whether you like it would be completely up to you. However, I will demonstrate it here so you can have a look at it, but I won't get too much into it because it is subjective. Moving back, we have the hammer and the trigger. I'll talk about them together. This is the hammer. This is how you prime the gun. To prime the gun, simply pull the hammer back into the rear position. It should lock into place, also lock in the cylinder. This removes your ability to freely move the cylinder. You can theoretically move it. It is not designed to do so. The trigger itself is pretty standard. This gun has more of a flat face trigger, and it does not have slam fire. If you hold down the trigger and try and pull back the hammer won't be able to catch. This is common for most hammer action guns, and it also allows you to deprime the blaster by pulling down the hammer a little bit, pressing the trigger, and slowly letting the hammer back into the top position. I will note, with this being a hammer action gun, this is one-hand operable. However, not all people will be able to do it. It does take a small amount of force to prime the hammer back into the rear position. If you don't have a good enough grip, or maybe your thumbs can't handle it, you may not be able to prime it back. However, if you are having trouble priming back the gun, try and get more of your thumb over the hammer instead of just using the tip of your thumb. That's the only thing I can recommend to help you prime the blaster if you can't get it usually. Moving back, we have the grip. The grip is kind of slanted forward, more like a revolver style, as this does resemble a revolver cylinder-fed blaster. The grip is quite comfortable, nice and large, and does comfort to smaller and larger size hands. Moving down, we have a sling or a landed mount. Just to recap, to operate the blaster, simply grab your dart, front load it into the cylinder, load all 5 barrels by rotating the cylinder as you need, prime back the hammer to lock the cylinder into position, also loading the barrel, and then pull the trigger. I'll show you it firing. Just firing some of the green and cool colored tipped Nerf Elite darts. These are just regular Nerf Elite darts. A few more. Now for some Econ waffle head darts. Few more. I'm going to shoot some blue Elite 2.0 darts. These are not included with the gun. These are the exact same as the green Elite darts that are included. However, these should show up a little bit better on camera. Now onto firing analysis. I did not have any jams or malfunctions while firing the blaster. However, with it being an air-restricted blaster, if you see a slight decrease in performance while shooting darts, most likely it might be your darts being worn out over time. A simple solution to this problem would just be to regularly change out your darts to some newer, fresher ones if you see a decrease in this gun, and use the more worn out darts in other guns that don't require such a nice air-restrictor system. That is not a complaint, it's just a gripe, and it's just a reality with smart air-restrictor systems. However, I have noticed the air seal on this gun is actually quite nice compared to other air-restrictor blasters, so you will see a nice constant velocity shot throughout all darts. Apart from that, the gun shoots quite well. It is nice competitive velocity and shoot on par with the rest of the guns on the market right now. Now onto my personal opinion. With this gun being a gun pretty much a reskin from 9 years ago, I can definitely see how Hasbro, the creators of Nerf, have evolved as they've gone past, and some things like this are just better back in the day, to be honest with you. I personally enjoy the more flat face trigger, the hammer action's quite nice, and a 5-shot hammer action blaster is a competitive war blaster if you shoot competitively. The benefit of having a hammer action blaster is as a backup pistol, you can have your primary in one hand, say it jams, say it something goes wrong, you can still use this one hand operable and shoot off 5 shots. So I do personally think that this gun does have a place in our hobby. I definitely appreciate the old N-Strike tooth, because if you ever put attachments on this gun, it's going to be way easier to get off than usual. Whether you like the paint job and the cosmetics is completely up to you, but even if you don't, I still think this is a completely war practical Nerf blaster. Now on to buy or not to buy. This gun is suitable for all types of nerfers in our hobby. If you're more of a competitive nerfer, I still think that you can find a spot for this if you need it. If you're more of a foam flinger or just like target shooting and stuff, this gun can be quite good for you. However, if you want to shoot more cups and stuff like that, maybe look into a different gun, but this gun will suit that purpose quite fine. If you're more of a cosmetic or response nerfer, this definitely can fit into the cowboy genre if you really wanted to, being a hammer action blaster. However, if you also like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whether you depend to purchase this gun is completely up to you. In my opinion, I don't mind it. I really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think the cosmetic paint job is nice, and from my extended testing, it seems like this paint job is going to last. I hope I have provided you with all the objective information if you'd like to make an informed purchase on the Nerf Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem blaster. I'll leave a link in the description box below if you'd like to purchase one of these blasters. I'll try and leave Australian and American links. And apart from that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.